Good day. My name is Zolkan, or at least that is what my character is called. I am a player of World of Warcraft on the realm Argent Dawn EU. It is a role-playing realm. I am a role player. I am here today to talk to you about something that has been bothering me about World of Warcraft for as long as I've been role-playing in the game. So, 3-ish years maybe. That something is TENTS. Yes, that's right, TENTS. This probably seems like an odd thing to make an entire video about, but well, this is very important to me. I need to get this off my chest, so bear with me. Now, to give you some context for this video, we need to look back a few years, to Warlords of Draenor. The expansion of Warlords of Draenor is not remembered very fondly. But, well, despite its many other failings, the expansion did grace the game with at least one addition that on the surface level seemed like a brilliant addition to the game, immersion-wise. And that is TENTS. That's right, just simple TENTS. Now, for a brief time, these tents were available everywhere in WoW. You could put them down anywhere you wanted to set up camp. I wasn't playing back then, but I heard stories of player-built tent cities, true hives of scum and villainy. This, however, couldn't last, as Blizzard, in their infinite wisdom, branded the tent items with the death mark that has been the end of many useful or fun items in expansions past. Only available in Draenor! Ah, zone restrictions. For tent items that are literally meant to be taken on your travels across the world. Imprisoned.
For 10,000 years.
Well, to be honest, the tents already had their issues before that last nail in the coffin. Allow me to share with you some of the other restrictions on these neat immersion-enhancing items. For one, they had a very harsh stack size limit of 5 tents of a type that were allowed to be in a character's inventory, meaning that if you had a specific type of tent that you liked above all, well, you had to live next to a mailbox with letters full of these specific tents sent to yourselves waiting in the mail. Very convenient. Now, here's the kicker. You could probably handle that harsh stack size restriction if the tents had a reasonable duration when used. Now, putting down a tent, setting up a camp, that implies that you'd like to spend time in the area, with shelter that you can return to and rest and craft items and, you know, do things. How long do you suppose an item like this would last when used? An hour? 30 minutes? 15? 10? It's 5. You get 5 minutes with your tent after using one of your allowance of 5. This means that altogether, you'd get 25 minutes of shelter when using a full stack of 5 tents. Now, I don't know about you, but by my experience, conversations in roleplay can easily last hours. Easily. These restrictions, a measly stack of 5 allowed on a character at a time, with a 5-minute duration, only on Draenor. All of these restrictions make these tents in their current state worthless, and it pains me to even think about the wasted potential. Oh my god, who cares, you may be asking. Well, admittedly this is completely 100% an issue that only roleplayers would care about. And I do care. I care a lot. I've sent the same suggestion into Blizzard daily for almost 3 years.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy.
How should I put this? Let's have some examples how this could benefit the role-playing community. Take my character Zolkan here. The concept for his character is that he is an ice troll, one of these guys. Yes, I know he's way skinny because the troll race for the players is a dark spear, but sometimes you gotta work with what you have. Anyway, because he is an ice troll, he spends his days prowling the frigid forests of Dunmoreau, scaling cliffs overlooking the dwarven roads below, just waiting for his chance to strike. And having a tent while out there in the wilds would make sense. And that's only how this specific character would benefit from having tents. Let's have a look at the wider role-playing community. Let's take military-themed guilds for one. They could build fortified camps wherever they wanted, like a real military regiment on a campaign. They wouldn't have to go from NPC camp to the next and could stop where they wanted. And then there's civilian characters. Maybe your character is a merchant or a fortune teller and you want to set up a store somewhere in the city. It would certainly make any festival-type server event more immersive, with rows of merchant stalls selling food and other goods. Travelers could set up their tents along the cliff walls of Orgrimmar, adding life and character to the city. I mean, hell, the Vulpera can already put down a camp, but, well, that has issues similar to the Warlord's tents, in that they only last a few minutes and have a long cooldown. That's the curse of having anything cool in WoW. It has a long cooldown. Just look at me now, sitting here by this bonfire, when I could be inside of a cozy tent. Sure, I could be in this hut right here, but it's occupied. This guy isn't even supposed to be here. He's an NPC from pre-Cataclysm that's not supposed to spawn here. He just appeared last Brewfest because of a bug. I've sent several reports to Blizzard, but they haven't done it. The most appealing aspect of the idea of tents is the freedom. This is one of the biggest issues that roleplayers face when trying to immerse themselves in the world. So often, roleplayers are forced to squat in NPC buildings and just pretend that these NPCs aren't here while they try to have a serious conversation about something. And even when they do get around the NPCs, sometimes you get into fights with the other roleplayers over that specific area that you want to use. So, having the ability to put down tents would alleviate some of these issues as well. They wouldn't fix them, but it would help. It hurts, you know? The genre of the game is called MMORPG. The RP does stand for something. The game has a very healthy role-playing community, but then you find things like this. A set of items that, if tweaked just a little bit, would make the lives of roleplayers so much better. It's not an issue of balancing some class feature. It's not planning the mechanics of a raid. It's such a small, tiny, teensy little thing that would mean the world for this part of the community. The items are already in the game, imprisoned in Draenor, and beyond that, otherwise restricted to make them gimped and unusable. In their current state, these items that could provide endless possibilities for immersion and roleplay are nothing but trash. What a waste. So, what do I think should be done? Pretty simple. Free the tents from Draenor, bigger stack size or make them into toys, and up the duration to something that lets you actually sit down inside your tent and take a load off. None of this 5-minute nonsense. And since a big reason that the tents were imprisoned in Draenor is probably the 10% stat buff that they gave, I'd take that out as well. Not all items need to have a gameplay benefit. Sometimes a tent just needs to be a tent. But what if people grieve with them? I hear you ask. Well, I'm willing to take that chance. For the freedom of setting up a camp where I like, I'm willing to pay that price. Please, Blizzard, if anyone over there is listening, I just want a tent. I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking for an item that has no purpose in the game at the moment to be given to the role players. That's all I want. I don't care about anything else. I just want tents.